Welcome back to Batchguru project. If you did not see a previous video, Batchguru is an application that I currently sell and I need to upgrade it to use new relativities API. For more details, check out previous video. All right, so today I'm planning out my plan of attack about how I'm going to be rewriting a fairly complex application. So let me take you to my screen and we'll break down what Batchguru components are and which ones I'm going to start working on first. In fact, I already started on some. All right. So if we go to relativity, I'm going to go to more Batchguru and I'm going to pick, let's say, sort date. So I have here a batch that I created and don't worry about the fields. All right. So here are the components that make up Batchguru. First, we have user interface. So user interface is this area, of course, where a user can select different things, they can interact with it, click on them, edit, save, all these things. Now, this user interface is built using relativity forms, right? All the relativity components. So I did not build this as a web page. This is built using relativity. It's a relativity application. So that makes it sort of easier to build than a custom page, but it also makes it a little bit more finicky. So you have to make sure you add all the fields to the application. You have to add choices to an application. There are a lot of like little tedious work that is, well, it was kind of annoying to do. And for the rewrite, I actually don't think we need to mess with the user interface. So I am going to leave it alone for now. My plan is to make this interface work. What we have now is component number 2, which is control buttons here on the side. And what these buttons do is they gather information from a job and then they submit that to a third component, which is an agent. So we can go to agents. And we could see I have a Batchguru agent, which is currently running. So this is probably like the biggest and most complicated component here, which is the agent. Okay, let's go back to Batchguru first, Batchguru workspace. So what I'm thinking here is instead of having, so how can I rewrite my agent, but keep the same user interface? And what I'm thinking I can do is I can add a second set of control buttons. So which is what I did right here. Basically, this is going to be Batchguru version 1. So if you click on this button, it's going to send it to version 1.0 of the agent. And here is a second set of buttons that is going to run the same job on agent version 2.0. So what I'll be able to do now is create a new agent and start rewriting the application or copy and pasting code, whatever I feel like it. And then I can enable users to use this version 2 in the tools that I've developed, I made available to use agent 2.0. So this way I can run 2 versions at the same time. And then if certain tool is only version 1.0, well, they're gonna see the top section of the button, but not the bottom one. Once I add the support for version 2, I add the buttons here. This way we can run them both at the same time, test it out, make sure they work, and then I can start removing the buttons from the version 1, and that way start pulling back the support for the old agent. So that's kind of what I've been playing around with. Okay, so that's kind of the plan how I want to start transitioning the tools from one version to the next. But I also want to do something else, and I've built this monstrosity over here. And what I want to call this is Batchguru Desktop or something like that, Batchguru for desktop. I don't know if I'm actually going to be using it or give users access to this. But I'm thinking is if I can write my tools in a desktop version of the application, and then have it written in the area that I'm sharing, the shared code area, and then the agent can also run the same code that I write here. This way I'll be able to quicker test my tools, make sure they work, make sure everything does what it's supposed to, and then when I will enable my agent to run the same code, it'll work as expected. So I think this is going to be less time as far as testing and just looking, because normally you would build a DLL, you put it into relativity, you run it, you look at the results. If there are any errors, you have to read the log and stuff. And what I can do here is I can use it like a regular application. I can debug, I can see what's going on. So the idea here is I can connect to relativity, and I can go to the workspace, and then I'll be able to click on, let's say, a saved search here, and let me resize it, and there we go. So now we'll get the results of a saved search inside of the grid. So this is something you've kind of seen in message crawler, right? Where in fact some of this stuff is just copy and pasted from message crawler. So now what I'll be able to do is go to the tools, which again, these don't really work yet, but I'll be able to go to one of the tools, and then I can set things up and run it and see the results here. And then once I'm satisfied with the results, I can say, okay, I want to take these fields and then overlay them into relativity. So I don't know if it's a good idea, bad idea, because now we're bypassing a lot of the security that I've put in place. Like, we're not bypassing relativity security, but we're bypassing additional layers of protection for your data that I've set up inside the user interface. So this may be something for advanced users, because it's going to be really easy to just go in and override a field. So next time, hopefully I will show you how this desktop version works. I got some things look kind of ugly here, and I need to start working on this really, and kind of start making sure I'm actually making progress here, not just play around with this user interface, which is obvious. I got a button to test every little thing. It's crazy. Anyway, so this is where I'm starting from. This is my thinking. What I'm thinking now may change later. Again, this is why I'm making this vlog, to keep memories of what's been going on through my head, and I'm hoping you're enjoying the journey. All right, thank you for checking this out. I'll be back with the next Batchguru update whenever I can.